Jeffrey Herlings' victory at Valkenswaard in 2010 was a defining moment in his early motocross career, marking the Dutch rider as one of the sport's most promising young talents. At just 15 years old, Herlings took on the sandy and physically demanding Valkenswaard circuit in the MX2 class, securing his first ever Grand Prix win in front of his home crowd.
Race one and this second MX2 race, so going to be quite part of this race. And Nichols just getting bounced through that gnarly wave section through there, and he just got caught short there, and that was enough to allow one.
Herlings had already made waves in the motocross world as a rising star, known for his aggressive riding style and exceptional ability to handle deep sand tracks. Coming into the 2010 MX2 season as a rookie for the Red Bull KTM factory racing team, he faced tough competition from experienced riders like Marvin Musquin, Ken Roczen, and Steven Frossard. However, Valkenswaard, located in the Netherlands, was a track that suited Herlings perfectly. It was known for its deep technical sand sections that required both skill and endurance.
All of the final two laps in the qualifying heat before Marvin Musquin decided to take a leap of faith, and the Dragon's back there, and he has to take avoiding action, goes round the outside of Charlier, gets good drive though on that Suzuki. Not going to get alongside the Yamaha rider though.
Right from the start of the first moto, Herlings displayed incredible speed. He quickly took control of the race, pulling ahead of his more seasoned rivals. His ability to maintain high speed while navigating the grueling sand sections set him apart. Despite pressure from riders like Roczen and Musquin, Herlings managed to stay composed and in control, eventually crossing the finish line in first place to the delight of the Dutch fans.
Just bobbing and weaving his way just to keep it nice and tight. Look how shallow that inside rut is there. He doesn't want to rush that too much. Otherwise, now, and Roczen goes to the inside and then closes the door on Jake Nichols, who now drops to third place. Under the Rebutizer bridge then.
The Valkenswaard track is infamous for its rough, sandy terrain, which becomes increasingly challenging as the race progresses. The 2010 race was no exception, with the track developing deep ruts and demanding precise bike control. Despite being a young and relatively inexperienced competitor at the time, Herlings thrived in these conditions, showcasing a level of comfort and confidence well beyond his years.
In first from the Tekka Suzuki in second. Then we have Marvin Musquin there in third position, so he'll lose another couple of points to Ken Roczen if he were to stay where he is. But Charlier, though, gets the hard charge. Nichols squares him off, takes the front wheel, and cleans up the 430 Charlier and leaves.
In the second moto, the pressure was on. Winning one moto was impressive, but securing the overall victory required another stellar performance. Many wondered if Herlings could hold off the more experienced riders, especially with fatigue setting in on the rough track. Once again, Herlings delivered. He grabbed a strong start and quickly took control of the race, leading from the early laps. While many riders struggled with the tiring, bumpy terrain, Herlings looked as if he was riding on a smooth track, effortlessly gliding over the brutal sand sections. Despite challenges from Roczen and Musquin, Herlings never cracked under pressure. As the race progressed, he continued to pull away, showcasing unmatched stamina and skill. By the time he crossed the finish line, he had secured a double moto victory, becoming the youngest rider in history to win an MX2 Grand Prix at just 15 years and 225 days old.
Over that small, making very, very light work at that, but just looking him bouncing his way through. He's just the corner speed, the momentum area. You know, it's a learning curve for him. He's trying to learn as much as he can, and then he got second.
Herlings' victory at Valkenswaard in 2010 was more than just a race win. It was the beginning of a legendary career. His ability to dominate one of the toughest sand tracks in the world at such a young age shocked the motocross community. From that moment on, he became known as the King of Sand, a title he would reinforce with multiple Valkenswaard victories in the following years. This win also proved that KTM had found the next big motocross superstar. Over the next decade, Herlings would go on to become one of the most successful riders in MXGP history, winning multiple world championships and solidifying himself as one of the greatest riders of all time. But it all started at Valkenswaard, 2010, where a young Dutch teenager took on the best in the world and won.
But with 12 minutes to go, And as long as he can just keep this pace, stay consistent, it's too just ride his own pace, concentrate on what he's doing, try not to get involved in any skirmishes with anybody.
Herlings' most noticeable strength in 2010 was his superior sand riding ability. Unlike many riders who struggled in deep sand, Herlings thrived. His ability to stay on top of the soft terrain rather than sinking into it allowed him to maintain high speeds, while others lost momentum. His sand riding techniques included high corner speed. Instead of braking hard into corners, Herlings would carry momentum, keeping his speed high, even in deep ruts. Aggressive throttle control. He mastered the balance between using enough throttle to skim over the bumps, but not too much to lose traction. Standing riding position. He often rode standing up, letting the bike move freely beneath him, which allowed for better absorption of bumps and improved control. Perfect line selection. While others would follow traditional racing lines, Herlings had an eye for choosing smoother, faster lines, often near the edges of the track where the sand was less disturbed. His Valkenswaard 2010 win was the ultimate proof of his dominance in sand, and it was clear from that moment that he was in a league of his own on sandy tracks.
Over the roughest part of the circuit.
By the end of the 2010 MX2 season, Jeffrey Herlings finished second overall in the championship standings behind his teammate Marvin Musquin, who successfully defended his title. Considering it was Herlings' rookie year, finishing as a runner-up was an outstanding achievement. Jeffrey Herlings' 2010 season was more than just a strong debut. It was the beginning of one of the greatest careers in motocross history. His win at Valkenswaard made history, and his raw speed and fearless riding showed that he was destined for greatness. This season laid the foundation for his dominance in the MX2 class, where he would go on to win multiple world championships. KTM had found their next legend, and the motocross world knew that Herlings would soon be fighting for world titles. By the time the 2011 season arrived, Herlings was no longer just a rookie. He was a title contender.
Perfect on my home crowd. Many fans come and watch me, and it's just great. I want to thank God for giving me this chance and my team for putting all the hard work in, and just everything was great. Thank you, Red Bull KTM Racing. Just thank you all.
Congratulations!
Charlier was 8th, Tonus was 9th, and Nichols was 10th. And overall, in the championship, it's Roxon now on here. Does the honours, gives the biggest trophy of all to that man there, Jeffrey Herlings.